GYMDAD Fitness. Today we have another Dark Labs review for you, and today we have Herolean. Herolean is Dark Labs' fat burner pre-workout. We have the green apple flavor. Now this one, I actually ran this one way back. Let me grab my scale. This was a clumpy pre that I used for my Save My pre-workout, and had this out of the deep freeze for a while, and it started to clump up a little bit of moisture, kind of that Play-Doh looking texture. But I ran this one once, and I got to circle back to get another run in to get you guys a review. But I don't even remember the hell I put the flavor way in and taste test, so we're gonna do this again. At least this is a Save My Pre one, and so I had to add creatine to get it to the proper to soak up some of that moisture, and so it's usually a 6.7 scooper. But after the creatine adjustment, we got 6.9. So I'm not gonna be able to tell you like if the scoop's accurate or not. But there's plenty of Herolean reviews out there for you guys. But just wanted to disclose that this stuff smells like straight Play-Doh, so I'm not looking forward to the taste. But it's a small little micro scoop, so it should be okay to suck down real quick. They say 6.9 grams a serving. Toxic waste looking color in. The lid on here. Now, if I remember right, this is pretty brutal tasting, but after taking a IR8, should be like a nice refreshing beach drink. Oh, that's bad. It's got a that might be worse than IR8, to be honest. Burn, mixture of burn, Play-Doh, and apple. I should have put so much water in there. Whew. That is debatable to be worse than the IR8 one. Whew. Oh fuck. Well, I'm not gonna win any flavor contests, but man, yeah, definitely want a chew piece of gum after that one or some shit like that. And then let's go ahead and get right into this label. L-carnitine, 2.5 to top it all off. Raspberry ketones, 500 milligrams. Seen that in a lot of diet supplements. They actually sell that one off in a lot of supplements. Do you remember Cellucor had one of those? Caffeine anhydrase, 300. Rhydrogenesis, 300. Pretty solid amount there. 2-amino, 225. There we go. Caffeine citrate, 100. Decaffeine malate, 100. So we got 3 types of caffeine coming in at 500 milligrams, yielding around mid 400s altogether. And then we have can't really isopropyl HCl, 25 milligrams. Pro GBB. This is what's going to create that thermogenic burn effect. 25 milligrams, kind of the higher end there for the Pro GBB. BioPure, 25 milligrams, and Alpha Yo at 1 milligram. And just for reference, Pro GBB was in KJ Labs Doomsday at 20 milligrams, and this we got 25 we're dealing with here. So that's going to get that thermogenic factor going. We'll see how it heats up, and I'm not going to lie, that taste was brutal. I was struggling reading the label after drinking that one. Still kind of rocking my world. But Herolean, I'm not sure how many runs I'm going to get with this after having it out for a while. It's still somewhat powdery, but going back in the deep freeze after this. But let's get into the effects and score of the Herolean Pre. Now time to get into the effects of the Herolean pre-workout. And this is V3 we're working with here. One of the things, gosh, if you guys noticed on my weigh-in and taste test, I felt like I got hit by a flashbang grenade. Like it was literally like the post after you drinking down something real nasty, like almost like remind me of back in the day after you took a shot in college at the bars, and like you got a big group, and then like post shot you're like just like feel like you're ringing in your head, like you're just trying to pull your shit together, like not trying to throw up. I mean, it was that brutal. I'm not saying I ever felt like I was on the point, but I was definitely like trying to like regather my thoughts as I was reading the label. And some of them I think I completely skipped out. It's not that big of a deal, but there's one called fucoxanthin, which I actually had to look up. It's just to see what it was, if it was some sort of fancy name for like another stim that's relevant to like, you know, I was more concerned of tolerance wise, you know, if there's more stims than we're thinking here, but it looks like something more of a health type product to speed up metabolic rates. Dog just came in the room. Um, just a fat incinerator, something that's not actually going to work as a stim, but it's going to help fat utilization. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Effects of the Herolean. So Herolean V3, I've ran this one twice now. The first time I ran it was way back. Gosh, it was back around when I reviewed Firestorm, because I remember I ran Firestorm and Herolean a couple days apart, and then I never really circled back. This thing's been living in my deep freeze. I did the Save My pre-workout, which got it really, really powdery and stuff. But it's like ever since I probably should have put a disclaimer on those, that a lot of times that when they're at that point, when you do the Save My pre strategy, it's like, yeah, you can get it back to a nice grainy powder to get scoops and stuff out, but odds are if it's sitting back out, it's going to eventually do it again. So it's going to just have to declare residency in the deep freeze. And anyway, so we kind of forgot about this one, ran it again. First experience was very decent. If I remember correctly, it was slightly euphoric, but very warm, very thermogenic. I did right at the grammage, no less, no more, and it was I wouldn't call it like hard hitting, but it wasn't light. Like I definitely remember not like needing any more. I did it on leg day, and like in hindsight, probably not. Probably would have rather done this thing on a smaller body part, like an arms or something like that. A little more, a little too dirty feeling for like a leg day, in my opinion. I like something that feels really crisp and clean, something really euphoric but low caffeine for leg day. You know, like BPI, 1-MROG. What's my other flavor? I like light doses of Excelsior for leg day. What was another? Aventador is a good leg day one. Like those just really clean euphoric pre's are kind of my go-tos for legs. This was a little too much diesel fuel for my leg day for this one. So I did this one with arms the next time, and then I also upped the ante a little bit. I did about 2 grams over. I ended up being about 3 grams over, which is actually quite a bit significant. A significant amount over for this only being a 7-gram scooper. So for some of those straight stems, but I kind of broke it down. Like I did the normal 7 grams, and then I sprinkled in like 3 grams of my pump product just to kind of prolong the burning effects afterward. And overall, it came in pretty quick. Within like the 15 to 20-minute range, you start feeling the thermogenic factor kicking in, which is very normal. And then a very decent euphoria. I wouldn't call it like Maniaco style euphoria, or like a Dark Labs OG euphoria. I haven't tried the new purple yet, so I can't really compare to that. But with the 225 2 amino, it definitely kicks in, and it definitely feels like the proper dosage. It just for only 75 milligram difference between Maniaco and this one. I probably would thought they would have been a little bit closer euphoria wise, but maybe it's some of the ways that these fat burning properties kind of collide with the 2 amino, kind of creating more of a thermogenic tunnel vision kind of vibe, and less of a dancing happy times vibe. It's still a good optimistic pre-workout. You still feel like slightly buzzing, like as far as like feel good, like just in the zone dancing. I wouldn't call it a dancing pre, and that the feel good part really kicks in within the 30 to 40 minutes. And so then it just carries throughout your workout of this like really good fat burning, warm, sweaty feel comboed with the feel goods. And you are going to sweat like a grease monkey on the 4th of July on this one. Like you're going to be dripping. Like you're going to have beads of sweat all over your shoulders, all over your chest, whatever you're hitting that day. I did try biceps in this one, so a smaller muscle group. And my shirt, I used it for the thumbnail, the picture. That was like a light gray shirt, and every single square inch of the shirt had changed colors from the sweat. Looked like I pissed my pants. My joggers I was wearing that day were just drenched from the waist down. This is a sweaty pre-workout. That was fun. And I also enjoy these sweaty pre-workouts because these microdose pre's, you take a pump product, plus like you got the pumps going on, and then the sweat kind of like gives you like a I mean, I'm an oily motherfucker, so that's just what way I am. I have thick sweat. I have had bad skin issues, acne and stuff growing up, and so like my sweat is like oily and thick, and so like it almost it looks like I'm getting ready to compete in a damn show. I'm all greased up. It almost looks like when I get these fat burners going, which makes you look even more vascular, more pumped. And so people are going to be a little concerned for you in the gym. They're like, what the hell's wrong with that guy, dude? He is on one. He is looking fucking massive, and he is sweating like an unhealthy individual. And so they might have some people questioning your whereabouts and what the hell you got in your system when you're using something like this. Is that GBB is for real? Yeah, I know it might not taste the best. I think that's what it is that's causing this taste. Imagine it doesn't help. But I like the fact that they kept the alpha yo at just 1 gram. I never felt like sick on this one, which a lot of fat burners do for me. A lot of fat burners, that are microdosed like this, they want to kind of create that like thermogenic, urgency factor that kind of like makes you end up feeling like nauseous. And I enjoy the fact that they didn't push this thing to 1.5 to 2.5 grams like we've seen some fat burners do. I think the combo of the GBB and all the other fat burning products in this one would have just made this one feel kind of nauseating with all the thermogenics and also like an alpha yo cold sweat on top of it. Like I can't imagine the cold sweats combining with the straight dripping sweat that was occurring. I think it would have been a disgusting combination. Probably would have had you calling in for sick for work the next day if you took this thing in the morning, or that day if you took this thing in the morning. So overall, really, really enjoyed it. Is it one that like I'm just absolutely head over the heels in love with? No, I mean it's unique, it's different, it's kind of cool to have for the arsenal. Now, as far as fat burning pre's, if I had to just take like all of one, I would probably take this over Oxymelt. That might be a hard take, but I did get a little bit of the sick feeling with Oxymelt. Oxymelt was really cool. Like I almost feel like Oxymelt is a nice like stacker. Like if you wanted to take just 5 grams of Oxymelt and not push it to that 7 to 8 grams, where I mentioned in my review like that I like it more as a pre-workout. It almost seems like one that like if you want to take a daily driver and make it a fat burner / illicit product, and throw like 3 to 5 grams of Oxystem on there, or Oxymelt. So as far as fat burners, I like this one is definitely on my like tops for euphoric fat burners. Clean vibe fat burners, it would be the dragon fruit flavor and blanket. Oh, Historic Labs, their Historic Thermo was a really delicious and also very effective, clean feeling, low caffeine fat burner. But as far as like high caffeine, decent euphoria, I would call this like a mid euphoria level as far as my results. This would probably be my fat burner one to go to. And then my illicit one, obviously Oxymelt, but I don't think I'll ever really be taking Oxymelt by itself. It's one of those ones, like I said, I'll sprinkle it on there. But this is one I would take by itself every so often. It's kind of a unique, little quirky one for the arsenal. I really don't see myself using this whole thing. It's going to live in my deep freeze, and I'm going to pop this thing up every couple weeks when I really need to get a thermogenic sweat in. And anyway, so score-wise, how I break this one down. So overall, fat burners are tough to score because they almost have this extra category because they have a little bit of a that extra level of thermo in it that creates this new category. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Like, yes, you're going to get this included benefit, but taste 0, worst I've seen. Pumps, I'm going to give it like a 2, just because the alpha yo and then the sweat just kind of increases. It makes you look more pumped. I don't know if there's any scientific evidence, and I think alpha yo does help with blood circulation if I remember right. But I always felt like I got more vascular pumps on alpha yo. But then again, maybe it's just a sweat kind of factor because you look a little more vascular when you're all shined up from the sweat. But anyway, so pumps like a 2 or 3 because you'll add a little bit. You don't want to stack a pump on this if you're using this as a pre. Overall euphoria, 8 out of 10, very solid, very good. It's creeping on 9. When you grip it and rip it a little bit more, and take like a slightly rounded scoop, go a few grams over, you're looking at a 9, I would say. Overall sense of urgency and raw energy, I'll give it a 9 for that. Like I really don't want this to be any more energetic and any more urgent. Maybe just a tad, if that's, I mean, if you want to, push it to, 8 to 9 grams, you could do that. But just, reviewing this thing on like a slightly rounded, so like 7 grams to 8.5 kind of range. Yeah, I'd probably give it a 9. It probably could do a bit more if you needed to, but like the amount was pretty solid. It was good. Nothing like this, nothing to be spooked out about. I know the Herolean V1 was a little intimidating for some and a little over the top, but it doesn't seem like that's the case for this one. A little more user friendly. But overall, I really enjoyed this experience. It scored pretty decent too. It's a unique product. It kind of has its own little spot in the rotation. And as someone that collects pre-workouts, we love to see things like this, because really, like when it comes to pre's like this, I got like 2 or 3 to choose from. So it's going to get used. It's just going to be few and far runs in between. Obviously, it's probably not a pre that anyone's going to want to buy and run for 3 to 4 times a week for a couple weeks. This is a collector's item right here, and you can usually get this thing on a pretty good deal too, just because it tends to seem that clump quite a bit. I think darklabs.com has it. Their Dark Labs Pro, whatever, has it for like $30 on a sale or something. I know it's pretty widely available on NutriCartel. I don't know if Sub Central has it, but like with the GYMDAD code, I think it knocks it down to like almost a Dark Labs price for NutriCartel. I'm not sure. You'll have to you go ahead and do your analysis on price yourself, and if get what's the best option for you. The GYMDAD code's cool to use and stuff, but I want you guys to be financially responsible. So do what you have to do to get the lowest price. I'm just there. That code is there to help you get there if that's what's needed to get there. But anyway, like, subscribe. More Dark Labs products coming. Got the new crack purple. My brother actually got it. One of the benefits of having a brother that likes to lift that's close in your age is you can take turns buying pre-orders and share stuff. So I'm gonna run that one of his. He got it when they did the new batch through SupLocker. So I'll get a little bit of intel on you guys for the fresh batch of crack purple non 1.3. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.